All right, everybody. You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up in just a few moments. Hang tight. Bam! We're on the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for all those of you who have joined us here on the live broadcast on another Tuesday night as we are talking sports. And as always, in the world of sports, something's always happening, baby, and we're going to talk about it. And we want you guys to talk about it as well. Remember, please follow the show, Real Talk Sports, the number 7, or follow me personally at Minister J Sim. There it is, right there. All right. Also, remember to go to our YouTube page, Real Talk Sports TV. Subscribe, doggone it. And check us out as we do a lot of YouTube shorts and cool stuff like that. Let's get right to it. You know, every time we do this show, we bring on one of the most beautiful women in the entire world of sports talk, radio, or TV. We simply call her the Queen. Tree Dolman is in the building. And welcome back.
Hello, how are you, Jonathan?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, look at her, guys. You know, I'm gonna start doing this, but no, they always block you for copyrighted music. Every time Tree comes on, I'm always just in my mind. I hear Stevie Wonder singing, "Isn't she lovely?"
Ah, you're so kind. Thank you.
I mean, look at this, guys. I'm gonna let you get the full shot there. Look at those pearly whites, the lovely smile. Look at that. Oh, she's so
Ah,
lovely.
thank you. You're making my day.
Praise the Lord. Look, Tree, you know, like I said, it is once again a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day here today, and of course, I know somewhere where the sun has been shining all night. It be up in the mountain high Rocky Mountains. The Denver Nuggets are dun, 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 the champions of the world of basketball. How about them Nuggets?
They are. It's funny. I picked them to win at first, but then after Miami knocked off the number 1 seed and knocked off the number 2 seed, I said, you know what? I'm giving Miami some respect. And so I picked Miami to win the finals just because I figured they had that oomph and that they would pull it through. But I was a little worried after they lost the game 3. No, after they lost game 4. I was like,
Right.
I
Yeah,
was
down
hoping
3
they
games
would
to
still
1.
pull it off, but I knew it was going to be very difficult to do.
Here's the thing: when we talk basketball, we always have to bring on a guy who I simply call him the basketball savant. He is well known because he is a contributor here locally in Atlanta on 92.9 The Game, one of the number one, or I should say, number one sports talk show in Atlanta for sure, and maybe in the whole Southeast. And oftentimes you will see him around about at other stations around the country as he brings you the inside on college basketball. Well, let's not waste no time. It's our man, Deshaun Tate, is back in the building. What's up?
What's up, Rev? Appreciate you for having me per usual. Of course, the beautiful Tree Doman. Blessings and prosperity to you guys. It's been a long season. As you know, the football stuff typically, the college stuff runs into the NFL stuff, which runs into the college side stuff, and then the NBA stuff. So, it's been a long season. We still got quite a bit to go. We ain't going nowhere, Rev. We still got, NBA draft coming up on next week, and, NBA free agency. NBA Summer League, if you haven't had a chance to go out to Vegas, if you haven't looked at NBA Summer League in over 5+ years or something along those lines, it's a real treat. It's much different. All the stars and everybody's coming out, everybody's enjoying it, and you've got some generational picks in this one expected to be. So I'm excited to be here with you guys on today, and looking forward to the subject matter.
Well, the man from France, I guess, is going to be the guy that's creating all the buzz. They already got commercials already, and I know Tree's happy because she likes the big man.
Well, I would be happier if he was going to my Detroit Pistons, but even though that he's going to the San Antonio Spurs, I am still happy because he is a big man that has a lot of movement, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the NBA.
No doubt. Before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and flash this guy right up here. This is out of Stat Muse. Dun, 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 dun. The Joker.
He had a lot on that image. Looked like somebody had a lot more hair than I do. But as far as Victor Wembanyama goes, let me throw this part out there first because I know you have a lot of listeners in the local Atlanta area. I will be assisting in hosting the 2023 official Atlanta Hawks NBA draft party. 92.9 The Game. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And 5 years in a row for me now. So it must be something that they like. I don't know, but I'm excited about it. God has been really, really good to me. And listen, when it comes to Victor Wembanyama, I know a lot of people are talking about him in generational hype. People saying, well, maybe, the most hype player probably since LeBron James. I tend to think we kind of forgot about the hype that was coming in with someone named Zion Williamson. Different kind of body type, of course, but same type of hype in terms of potential in terms of being a generational player. But no, the hype is real for a guy who's standing over 7'3", 7'4", 7'5" feet tall, something along those lines, who can shoot the ball the way he can, pass the ball in some ways the way that he can, defend the way that he can, and just be out there on the perimeter almost like a guard. It's crazy to think that, with where this game is going, you've got guys like Victor Wembanyama and Kevin Durant who look like they can, pig out on a whole all-you-can-eat bar and lose it all by the time they get to the car. And then you've got your Zion Williamson body types. You've got your Luka Doncic. I mean, think about it. And I get long-winded, forgive me, but, we're just now seeing something we've never seen. We all heard of, point forwards and things like that. Some of these guys that are playing on the wing, Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen, and we're seeing Draymond Green, but we're seeing guys like a point center now at this point in Nikola Jokic, who in a generation, in an era where everything is so predicated in this game based off of run and jump, right? Athleticism. The two things that he really does not excel well in, and still able to do some of the things that he's able to do. Just a cerebral player with a high IQ that he has, 2-time MVP, now a finals MVP and a national world champion. I mean, where this game is going, who knows what we're going to see next.
Funny you mentioned, I'm going to throw these stats up here, and it just cements what you just said. Here's the stats for Mr. Jokic during the playoffs. Okay, 30 points a game, 12.5 rebounds. But look at that last number, 9.5 assists per game. Those are point guard numbers, boys and girls. And Jokic put that up over a 20-game span. Yeah, he was an absolute beast.
Yeah, he's no joke, Rev. And I'll tell you something else. And I know that this might be, some people might feel like it's going a bit overboard. And I feel like on the upward trajectory, I've said this many times, on the upward trajectory that I feel like he's on, if he keeps this up and this continues, I mean, like, guys who are sure Hall of Famers, actually just watched him go get inducted at the Final Four for the Basketball Hall of Fame. Guys like Dirk Nowitzki is going to be an afterthought. I mean, we think about him as the jump shooter that he is and so forth, but the way that, Joker can distribute the basketball, facilitate it, high IQ, cerebral player, maybe not the defender that everybody, loves to see for a guy of his size. He's not a small fry. He's not a small guy. And a lot of times it looks like he's got, his shoes nailed to the floor, like he's got gum on the bottom of his shoes. But I will say enough to say that, with the way that this game is going, we're so used to being the big bad United States, and guys coming from overseas coming over into our game. They're too slow. They can't keep up. They're not physical enough. They're not fast enough. They don't jump up. Those things are like gone. The way that this game was designed to be played. And excuse me, I'm trying to make sure I got all my dimensions and measurements on point here, Rev. For the game that I love so much, okay? Dr. James Naismith, when this game was created, Springfield, Massachusetts, 94 feet long, 50 feet wide, 10 feet tall is the rim, 23 feet, 1 3/4 inches out on the perimeter for a game that was originated December 1st of 1891. The fundamentals of this game is something that we're starting, it appears that we're getting more and more away from in the States, and that the international play and players are still excelling at. And I think that's a huge reason behind why we see the competition in FIBA, Olympics, and amongst so many other things, the way that we are. And the NBA game is so much more played in an international style now. I think that's the reason why you have some of the big-time MVPs or guys in contention like Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic that are able to excel the way that they are.
Talking about Hall of Fame, let's look at his stats so far. He's been in 5 playoffs. But before we do that, wait in the green room. I think he's got something to say. I do know one thing. You better get your popcorn ready. Why? Because when we bring on the queen, we bring on a champion, not one, but 2-time Super Bowl champion. And he is in the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. He's an all-around good guy and motivational speaker par excellence. The one and only number 38, Tyrone Poole, is back in the building.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talking a little NBA basketball here.
Good to see you, Deshaun.
Good to see you, sir. Blessings and prosperity to you.
Likewise, likewise.
Before we go to break, let's do 2 things. Number one, you're talking about the potential for Hall of Fame. Let's look at Mr. Jokic's stats. In 5 playoff appearances, 27.5 points, 12.1 rebounds, and 7.3 assists per game in not 18, not 28, but 68 games. Tree, what do you think about that resume?
Well, we know he's one of the greatest, so I think it's a phenomenal resume.
Not too shabby. All right, let's go to social media here, and you know who is in the building. Tree, can you read that? My glasses are a little scratchy.
Sure. It's from Todd. He says, Mr. Tate, how can Hawks win a championship with a tiny man? Tiny. His name is Mr. Young.
Wow. Here we go again. Here we go. Mr. Shade. Oh, Todd.
I'll sum it up this way. I don't know if Mr. Todd can remember what the Atlanta Hawks looked like before they had number 11 or not. I would be more than willing to show you, but I don't think everybody wants to see what I had for dinner earlier tonight. So I will say enough to say that, with a cerebral player the way that he is, much the same. I mean, for a guy who essentially just about led the league in points and assists in the same season, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He's special. I think that everybody knows that. We understand that. We overstand that. And there's going to be some changes that are going to have to be made, obviously. It's not just about Trey that, I do understand why people have some of the reservations about him that they do, especially this past year where things didn't look good. And, of course, you've got that coach killer type of, cloud hanging over his head. But, he's a competitor. I've laid eyes on Trae Young when he was 16 years old and told people in this town exactly how special he was going to be. And I think he's lived up to that, but it's going to take some different pieces. When you've got some guys, mom ain't just giving birth to guys just walking in and winning championships. I mean, Tyrone explained to you the exact same thing. I have a good feeling that It takes something special. You can work your whole life from start to finish and grind it out as hard as you want to. And some guys are just going to walk away from the game without one. He was able to clearly, as you can see, of his decorated background there, blessed with the opportunity. Of course, that didn't happen without hard work, but it took some chemistry and it took the right pieces. It was not just the bench or the offense, but also the defense. It also took, the camaraderie amongst the guys, the coaching staff from top to bottom. When you go into that training camp on the very first day, all the way up until what Denver did on last night, it takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of sacrifice, and it won't just be on Trey. It'll be on everybody else as well.
Tree, do us the service again here. Mr. Todd is acting up, I think, from what I can see.
So Todd says, but Mr. Tate, does he want to be here? He just built a $25 million home in LA.
I'm glad that was actually brought to the attention, okay? Because a lot of the guys, we can talk about the guys. First of all, there's guys who play for the Hawks that don't have homes here as well. There's also guys who we would love and have been talking about for years. We need this superstar player. Well, this is the biggest name that you've had since number 21, the human highlight film, and Dominique Wilkins. So now you've got your star player. And then it's like, well, we need more help. And we need this guy. We need that guy. It's no secret that superstar players apparently don't want to play here in this market, but they've got homes here. So I'm not really sure what the difference is. I don't think it's really necessarily saying anything because he has a home in a whole nother state on the other side of the country, which happens to be LeBron James over on that side of the world and everything else. I don't think it's a question to me as to whether he wants to be here or not, but I wouldn't be completely mad, and hear me very clearly. I wouldn't be completely mad if he did have some concerns about the loyalty when it comes to the fan base or some of the people living in this area, the way that when things did not go as planned, or maybe he didn't do as well this year as he had done in previous years, and people calling him Coach Killer and get him out of town and he's not a winner and all these other things. It's kind of funny how people turn your back on the guy who's kind of essentially led you on to the Eastern Conference Finals, a place that you had never been, at least had won a game in that series.
Well, you know how it is, man. They got spoiled. The Hawks probably, advanced a little bit too quick. If they had done that maybe in his third or fourth year, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. But speaking of conversation, we got to take a break. Chop, chop. We got to let people know about the sponsors. We also want to let people know about you, Mr. Deshaun Tate, where people can find out more about you and what's going on in the world of hoops with Deshaun Tate.
Appreciate you, man. At Tate's Take Hoops, you can find me on social media just about anywhere. I hope Todd hits me up somewhere in the inbox. I usually don't say that too often, but be more than willing to have that conversation. If anybody else wants some, please feel free. At Tate's Take Hoops, TATES TAKEHOOPS. Really awesome basketball podcast. We call it Where Basketball Lives. The best, the most entertaining, the most informational, and the most educational basketball content on the planet in the form of a podcast. So tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your baby mama where they can find the best. And that's at Tate's Tate.
He don't call out the baby's mama. On that note, we got to go to a break. All right, everybody, keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back with you know what? Words from the Queen's Court. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Hold on, please. Thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Everybody, it's that time. You know what it is. It's time for Words from the Queen's Court. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's time for the Queen's Court. Here we talk about professional athletes or sometimes famous people, artists who are doing positive things in the community. And today we are focusing on none other than Jason Taylor. He is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. and he has a nonprofit organization, the Jason Taylor Foundation, and he does so many positive, wonderful things for the youth and for the community in Miami. And I would love to highlight on some of them. The most, I won't say the most important, because everything that he does is important, but my favorite event that he has every year is called the Cool Gear School event. And it is something that I have been writing about since I was in elementary school. And it helps fund clothes to kids who are underserved. And they get to go shopping at Old Navy, and they get to get school clothes, and they get to shop with a celebrity. And it's just helping them get clothes so that they can go to school and feel comfortable and have new clothes. And it's just really a wonderful event. Again, it's something I'm very passionate about. So that's my favorite event that he does. He used to do a golf tournament every year. He has since stopped the golf tournament, but now he does what I feel is an even better event. He has his community Hall of Fame dinner, where each year he awards 3 people in the community Hall of Fame community event, and it's for work that they're doing in their communities. And he gives them awards and celebrates them. It's a dinner. You get dressed up. It's really nice, and you still get to raise a lot of great money and funds and have a great time celebrating people who are doing positive, wonderful things in the community. He usually does highlight one professional athlete in this event. He also hosts a poker tournament, and another event that he does that I'm really excited about the program, and I've actually been one of the judges a few times, is that he partners with Omari Hardrick, and people may know him from Power. He was Ghost in Power, and they help with the youth with writing poetry. So they'll have different contests. They have sessions where the youth and the middle schools and high schools come and they write poetry. And then they have this program called Louder Than a Bomb, where different high schools will compete against each other. And they'll have where the kids write poetry. And my goodness, let me tell you, you would definitely want to support and watch the poetry. I am always amazed. It is just phenomenal, the poetry that these kids write, just writing about their feelings and just putting things out there. And they're very passionate about it. They write about the world and just whatever is in their hearts. But I believe that our youth need outlets. So many of our schools are taking away extracurricular activities from our youth. And so we need different programs like this. We need poetry and athletics and arts and dance and coding, whatever our youth like to do, but our youth need to have an outlet. And so that's one of the things that I love about the Louder Than a Bomb contest that the Jason Taylor Foundation puts on in partnership with Omari Hardrick, and their Louder Than a Bomb and their Blue Apple Poetry program. It's just really phenomenal. So please go ahead and check out the Jason Taylor Foundation. They do so many things in the community. I can't discuss them all here just because it is a large list, but he has been involved in community and giving back for so many years. And it just really brings me joy to highlight. And again, if you're in Miami, or even if you're not in Miami, check out his Community Hall of Fame event. I'm pretty sure that you will love it. Again, it's an event that's highlighting people that are doing positive things in their community. And what better way to raise funds and to have a great event where you're focusing on giving back while you're giving back. So please check out the Jason Taylor Foundation and the many positive things that he's doing. And then also my favorite program and event that he does, which is the Cool Gear Back to School event. If you would like to donate, he's always looking for donations for that so that he can support the youth in the local area and they can get free clothes. Then you also can donate and support that event so that kids may have some clothes and feel good. I'm sure we all remember when we go back to school shopping and get new clothes and new shoes and get to wear them to school. I unfortunately didn't get to do that too often because I had a uniform at private school, but we did have jean days where I could wear my new clothes and different things. But please go to the Jason Taylor Foundation, look up the wonderful events that he has going on. He has, again, like I said, a poker tournament that he has a lot of men go to and have a good time and get to raise money. But there's an event for just about everyone. And you go ahead and look up at jasontaylorfoundation.com and then support whatever event that you feel pulls at your heartstrings and is something that you're passionate about. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find something. So congratulations to Jason Taylor and his crew. He is a phenomenal person. His staff, they're phenomenal people, and kudos to him.
Was pretty darn good there. Jason Taylor, didn't know there's so many guys that are just doing some great stuff in the community. And Amari Hardwick, I actually had a chance to meet him a few years back. He was here for one of the drama award ceremonies here, and I was working with Infinity at the time, and we actually provided him for a car for the weekend, and got a chance to meet him up close and personal. And that was when Power was just taking off, so I felt like I was the celebrity chauffeur there for a minute. So there we go. Tyrone, what do you think about the stuff that Jason Taylor is doing, and really, what all you guys are doing out there to try to make an impact in the community?
Well, I don't think it's just Jason Taylor. I think everybody has a role to play. So, I don't want people to get it twisted thinking that you have to be a celebrity to be able to do anything. But, it's great that he's doing things, and anybody who has the power. But we all have greatness in us. And, athletics gave him an opportunity to get some funding, which that's what it takes to change communities. But still yet, we all can take a page from him and learn about the principles, which is helping people, and just, continue to listen to great stories like Jason's and, everybody else. But we all play a role in advancing society.
I think that's true words. Everybody's got to do their part. And I think if everybody does their part, or as your famous former coach said, do their job, it'd be amazing how much more we get done here in society. If you just do your thing. Don't try to do the other guy's thing. Just do whatever you can put your hand to do. And you'll find some great stuff that is going on all across the communities, no doubt. Yeah, man, it's just good stuff that's happening. We appreciate all the good stuff. Tyrone, I know you had an event, I believe, in your hometown. Didn't you just have one last weekend or weekend before?
Yes, sir. Went very well. So just
and partner with
continue to help people.
I think you partnered with our good buddy, Mr. Walt Harris. Was he down there with you as well?
Actually, it was Walt's event. It was Walt Harris.
Oh, okay, got you. All right. But it was in LaGrange, though, your hometown, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Yep, good stuff. Like I said, guys, lots of good stuff going on here. You guys just need to kind of keep it locked in here. And speaking of locked in, guys, don't go anywhere at all, because, we always have more on the Real Talk Sports Show than just talking sports. We got more stuff coming up for you. And one of the things we like to do is give you a little motivation and inspiration from the man himself, Mr. Tyrone Poole, because coming up after the break, he's going to tell you how to work that thing. All right, guys, keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go nowhere, because we'll be right back.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is your time to get what you want. Go work that thing with Work That Thing supplements.
And now more from the man himself, Mr. Tyrone Poole, teaching you how to work that thing.
I appreciate it, Jonathan. Thank you. Again, welcome everybody. What is the Work That Thing moment? And that's what I'm calling these segments, Work That Thing moment, because anything in your life that you want to do, you have to work whatever that thing is. Okay. And if you don't work it, you're not going to have success. I don't care how much you dream about it, how much you sit around and write about it. At some point, you have to work that thing. So what is your thing that you're trying to work? But I can guarantee you this, it's not going to come easy. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be some type of opposition, something that tries to hinder you. But as long as you continue, as I've heard it, practice, perfect practice makes perfect. And if you continue to use knowledge in its proper way, then you will get to your finish line. So what is your Work That Thing story? So what I want to talk about today, be very, very quick. All I need is about 3 minutes just to read from this book right here. All right. Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. This is my book, my first ever book. I'm like, you can pick this book up at TyronePoole38.com, and this book comes signed. Okay. This book is not signed, so I let you know it's new, but when you buy it, it comes personally signed. So as I mentioned, whenever you're going to work that thing, this is for high school kids, for collegiate kids, this is for professionals. All right. I know we have questions about, can the Hawks do this? Can the Hawks do that? Can the Falcons do this? Can the Falcons do that? Can the Braves do this? Can the Braves do that? Can the Atlanta United do this? Can the United do that? Well, it doesn't matter. The Dream, can the Dream do this? Can the Dream, Atlanta Dream? You know, at the end of the day, if they work that thing and they know what they're doing and they work that thing, then yes, it can be done. So what I want to read from is Poole's Principle. Okay, this book is packed with 12 dynamic principles. I'm going to give you guys one. This is Poole's Principle number 7. Number 7. Okay, again, work that thing. If you're trying to work that thing to become successful, you got to understand this. Poole Principle number 7. Defeat is a permitted response. All right? Again, defeat is a permitted response. You have to allow defeat to come in. Defeat just can't take you over. You have to allow defeat. Usually it's right there. That's why they say the mentality, the mindset. A lot of people don't have it. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think that type of person can maximize their life because there will be adversity. Okay. Poole Principle number 7. Defeat is a permitted response. Now, this is me talking here, right? Right in my book. All right. Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. When I'm working out, the only music I listen to are songs that are positive and uplifting. They give me a boost of energy and get my heart pumping. I'm reading a book to you guys on the Real Sports Talk Show. How about that? Oh, my goodness gracious. Where is the world going? But I especially enjoy the theme from the Rocky movies. I just love Rocky movies. I don't know about you guys. You guys love Rocky movies? I'm like, I can watch Rocky, especially Rocky 3. Rocky 3 with Mr. T. I can watch that one 5 days in a row, and it's still, I get something motivating from it. But the Rocky movie, the song Eye of the Tiger, the lyrics go, rising up, straight to the top. Have the guts, got the glory. Went the distance. Now I'm not going to stop. Just a man and his will to survive. How many of you out there have a will to survive? How many of you have a will to survive when adversity starts to happen? When you're losing games, when you're on a 3-game losing streak, a 4-game losing streak, okay? When things are not going your way, the sun not shining on you, do you still have the will to survive? Hence, the title of Poole Principle number 7, defeat is a permitted response. All right. So I read on. All right. Every time I hear that song, I can see Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion, fighting as an underdog. We all love underdogs, right? For the World Boxing Championship. After 15 rounds, 15 rounds back then. I think they go 12 now. 15 rounds of a broken nose, brutal blows to the body. The judge's score didn't really matter. All right. Why did it not matter? Because those two boxers were both winners after giving the fight of their lives. There was no giving up. So again, that's why I say in closing, you control the outcome of every experience that you encounter. This is why I believe that defeat is a permitted response, people. So whatever you're doing in life, if you're trying to be the best at it, if you're trying to maximize your life, not only will you have to work that thing, but you got to have a will to survive. And always remember, defeat is a permitted response. That's your work that thing moment of the day. And now back to the host, Minister Jonathan.
Bam! Work that thing. And we now have a new spot called Pools Principles. I like that. Because Tyrone, there's one thing about Tyrone I will say. He is very consistent because he says all the time, no matter what goes on, we talking about some stuff. Hold up. Somewhere in there's a principle to be found to make you effective. And Ty, that's just one thing he'll tell you. He says, hey, I don't care about all the other stuff. I'm looking for that one or two principles in that success story that I can hang my hat on, because that you can translate anywhere. It's in the book right there.
Hey, I also got to tell them, ultimate success is not about money, people. It's not about money. All right. Ultimate success is when you take what's in here and it manifests itself on the outside. That, my friend, is ultimate success.
You know, it's funny you should mention that. Even though these guys have a lot of money, and I'm gonna talk about this real quick, and then we'll move on. One of the things that was pointed out here, the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, you guys both know this is their first championship. I think the Nuggets have been in the league for, I think, over 40 years. I think 40-something years they mentioned. The crazy thing is their owner group, they own multiple sports franchises. This is, I believe, their fourth or fifth championship in the last 2 years. What do you think these guys are doing from an ownership group to be able to talk about your principles, Tyrone, talk about, your this pattern? What do you think these guys are doing to able to put this kind of success across multiple sports? The Colorado Avalanche won last year. Denver Nuggets have won this year. Their lacrosse team won the world championship. They even have an esports team that won. What do you think's the one or two ingredients that these guys are doing to make this formula spread across multiple franchises?
I'll be very quick, and I know the Queen has something to say as well. Principles will determine whether you win. Principles will determine whether you lose. If you don't bring star players in, that's a principle. You're not going to win. If you let your star players go, you're not going to win. That's a principle. You bring star players in, treat them right, you increase your opportunities to win. All right? And you got to find the principle. The other principle is that I've learned, you keep your core in place. And that's what you keep in place. Every year, you're finding the missing pieces, and you go out and you find the missing pieces. You bring them back. You find different people, but you got to keep your core in place. If you look at any team that's won any championship in any sport, high school, college, pros, the core has always stayed in place. And then they went around and found little empty spots. Okay, who can we bring in to fill up that spot right there? But if you don't keep your core people at home, you're not going to win. So that's the principle. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. You go out and you look at, even, I think, high school. You can take a pro coach. He can go and watch a high school team. What's the team? They moved up here in Georgia, high school football. They were very had a winning tradition at the I guess the level 3, the 3A. I want to say it wasn't Grayson, but Buford High School. Buford won. Talk about high school football, right? But hey, you know what? It's the principle of winning, right? Is what we're talking about. So you got the principal, you got the athletic director, you got the coach. So it's still the same management, right? They just got different names, but the principles are still the same. Buford won on the 3A level. They went up to 4. They took the same principle, went up to 4, they won. And now what they did, 7A or what have you.
7A, yep. Yep.
So it's a principle. Follow the principles and you'll win. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. If you stay on the yellow brick road, you can't help but to go to winning. Come on, man. It ain't that hard.
If you go on the yellow brick road, I got to put my shades on because it's bright on the yellow brick road. Queen, what do you think? What do you think the key is to this unbelievable 4 different sports winning their crown for their leagues?
I would assume that a big part outside of the principles and things that Tyrone said is how they treat their people. One thing that I noticed when the Denver Nuggets won and even before they won, which I will say after they won, I was like, wow, their head coach actually smiles. I had never seen him smile. And then after they won, he had a constant smile on his face. It was amazing. I've never seen a smile on his face before. But anyway, it was something that they all just kept talking about, is how they're all treated, how they all feel like family, and that even after their careers are over, they feel that they will still be a close knit even after they're done playing basketball. And a lot of that is you want to feel special when you go to work. You want to feel valued and appreciated, even if you're not in professional sports. Whatever job you go and you work, you want to feel that that job appreciates you and that company values you. And when you feel that way, a lot of times you're happier, you perform more. But another thing was that they didn't give up on the people there. When you look at Murray and his injuries, a lot of teams could have just said, hey, okay, we're done with you. But no, they kept supporting him. They kept providing the things that he needed and let him know that they believe in him. And now he was a huge part of them winning that championship. So I think that's also a big part of it, is just how they treat people. And it just seems that obviously they're treating people the right way for them to have so many athletes that are performing and winning championships.
And can I add this in here? You know, the question is not to me, you know, the question is like winning championships. The question now is going to be, okay, Denver, they won a championship. Okay, cool. The question now, as soon as they won a championship, the question came up, can they repeat? All right. That, my friend, is where, when we talk about the principles, I believe you can repeat. But a lot of things have to happen. But let's just take a look at very quickly some of the teams, the last back-to-back NBA championship team. It was the 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors, right? And that's basketball. Then we talk about NHL hockey. This is just how tough it is to repeat back-to-back, all right? The Pittsburgh Penguins, all right, 2016, 2017. That was the last back-to-back team in hockey. Of course, in the NFL, it was the 2003, 2004 Patriots. And I got to say something about that one. I think the Patriots could have repeated back-to-back when they lost that game, Super Bowl, to the Eagles. I think there was a lot of turmoil going on during that season. I'm not going to say anything else, but the Patriots, they should have won that Super Bowl. But, hey, give to the Philly, brothers in love, right? Brothers in love. The last Major League Baseball team was the New York Yankees. It's all about the pinstripes. So, in closing, what does it take to actually repeat, right? What does it actually take? One thing is, I believe all the players got to come in and don't try to repeat. Get that out of your mind. Don't try to repeat. Just play it as a regular season, another season, right? That's what we did in New England. We didn't come at thinking about no repeat. We just came back and played the first game just like it was the first game that we played, all right? Focus on your strengths first, your weaknesses, and then fill in the gaps second, right? That's why I say you got to keep your core people there. Who's your strength? We got to sign that guy, get him back. Then, okay, where are we weak at? Okay, basketball, we need more rebounding. All right, boom. Let's go get a good rebounder. Then let's fill in the gaps second. All right, we need somebody to come off the bench, you know, stuff like that. So just talk about NBA. You can take that principle and around in every sport. All right, 2 more in closing. All right. Also, I think the Denver Nuggets or any team that wants to repeat, you have to maintain a consistent approach to improve it. Okay, not just proving or your abilities. Basically, what I'm just saying is, you every day, every off-season opportunity, it has to be some approach by every player. How can I improve? And finally, I ended with this: focus on the experience, not the title you're seeking. You know, in the world, we say the destination. Don't focus on the destination. Enjoy the journey, right? So when you're trying to go that back-to-back title, you got to focus on the experience. One game at a time. I think that's where it comes from. One game at a time. Let's focus on the experience here and then move on. Next thing you know, you're hoisting up that trophy again or the title again, saying that you're back-to-back. But that's why I think it's tough, because the number one thing, guys come in and they're focusing on trying to repeat instead of just focusing on let's win game 1, then game 2, game 3. We got the ability. We kept everybody in place. We got our nucleus. What's the difference? Just like with the Rams. What's the difference? Of course, they lost Von Miller. I think he was a big part of it. But other than that, they kind of had everybody in place. What happened? I think they lost focus.
I do also want to add to everything that Tyrone said, is that sometimes it's hard for some team. Well, it's hard for anybody to repeat, but sometimes it's hard too, because you get some players that are still living in the past. They're constantly thinking about last year, and you can't focus on last year. Last year is over. And while you were winning, there were other people training hard to take your spot and be the champions this year, which is like what Tyrone was saying. You have to work, and focus on every game and play every game and not look so far ahead, just like you can't look in the past, like, oh, well, we won last year. Well, last year no longer counts. Once the season starts, it doesn't matter that you were the champs last year. That's over and done with. So now it's like, who's doing good this year?
And right quick, Jonathan, add on what Tree said. When you win the title, this is what everybody has to understand as well. When you win the title, you climb the mountain. You're on top of the mountain. You won the title. The Denver Nuggets, they climbed the mountain. They're on top of the mountain. They now become the mountain. So just like Tree said, everybody now is training and they studying film, watching game tape, and watch how they play Denver next year. All right. That's why Denver got to improve. They got to step their game up if they want to repeat. But they are now the mountain, and everybody going to be looking to climb them. So that's why it's tough as well.
Well, no doubt. You saw the picture there. You can see that. Right, yeah, because they're the 100. And that's a picture right there. You see Jokic getting the trophy with his young daughter, and the other on the right-hand side, the two owners. Stan, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly. It is spelled Kroenk. So I guess it's Kroenke. Bottom line is this is his stat line in the last 18 months. As I mentioned, his team has won the NHL Stanley Cup. His team has won the National Lacrosse League Championship. His team has now won the NBA championship, and his esports team has also won their world championship as well. So they're on quite the roll, and there's got to be something in that secret sauce that Mr. Kroenke is putting out to his players. Well, if you want some secret sauce, I don't have any right now. I'm just saying. But check out what we got going on behind the scenes at the Real Talk Sports Show, and take a look at our sponsors once again.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
And we are back. Final segment of the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mr. Tyrone Poole, and the queen, the lovely Miss Tree Dolman, all in the building. Well, guys, we obviously basketball is ruling the roost right now. NBA Finals just concluded. Hawks are now looking to see who they can pick up in the draft. I'm going to ask you guys this question really quick before we transition to football. Hawks in this draft. Should they be looking for another scorer, or should they be looking for maybe a big man? Who should Hawks pick in the draft? Big man or swing man? Ms. Dolman, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I think they should look for whoever they think is best out there that's going to fit the pieces. I feel that we have the guards, we have the big men. So it's not that I feel that there's just a huge need for anybody there, but they just need to find that missing piece that they feel will help bring a championship to Atlanta.
What do you think in terms of missing? What do you think the Hawks are lacking right now? What do you think is kind of the thing that they need to say, okay, if we added this, either be a type of player position, we could get to the next level?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question, because I don't feel that they're missing pieces as far as talent. When you look at our roster, we have a very talented roster. I think the missing piece could be maybe someone who's more aggressive on defense, or someone who just uplifts the team, or different things of that nature. We see that when the Hawks play and they come to play, they can play with anybody, I feel. So that missing piece may not just be something that you may see on paper, which I've already talked about in the past. There's some stats that the paper just does not show. There's a lot of things that people can do that just doesn't come through on the stats. Of course, you want the Hawks to pick up a player where it's definitely coming through on the stats as well. But I think that when it comes to the roster, they do have a very talented roster, but clearly this roster has not gotten the job done. So I do think that there will be some pieces that will be changed. And I think whatever they do bring in, it will be people that complement Trey. Who knows if they will go ahead and get rid of John Collins. They've been talking about getting rid of him for who Lord knows how long. And you just don't know. We have Clint Capella. He couple of years ago was the number one rebounder in the NBA. So he gets a lot of rebounds. You definitely, I feel, would want to keep him on the team. Bogey has a lot of good threes and plays hard. I mean, again, I like the roster, but I do feel that there will be some changes because this roster has not gotten it done, and they've had the team together for about 2 to 3 years. So I do think that there will be some changes. So I can't just say if I think they'll get a big man or get another guard, because I think that Murray and, of course, Trey Young, I think they play very well together. So those are the two that I see leading the team, but who knows?
Tyrone Poole, what do you think the Hawks might be lacking? Do you think they should try to get a big man? You think they need a scorer, a swing man? What you think?
Two players they should go out and get. If they get these two players here, I promise you, they will bring a title home to the ATL. All right. The first player they need to draft is identity. Go find him. Go find identity. Bring identity to the team, and that will set the stage for that. The second person you need to go get is adjustability. Sometimes you got to adjust, man. You got to adjust. You got to adjust your game. And like Tree said, they got the talent. So what is it? They have to continue to play to that identity. Who are we? This is the team that we're going to be, no matter what. This is our identity. Can we say that's how they played throughout the whole year? Find identity, and then go recruit adjustability. And I'm telling you, they'll win a championship.
I would have to say I agree with Tyrone. When they do those two things, they will win a championship.
I'm just typing this in. You said Mr. Identity and Mr. Adjustability. I hope I'm spelling this right here.
Go draft them two dudes right there. I'm telling you, you got a title coming to Atlanta.
Who's principal?
There it is. Right there. That's why he said, who should they pick? Right here, guys. Mr. Identity and Mr. Adjustability. If we can pick up those two guys, I'm not sure what draft. You have to go to European draft for them. I'm not sure, but somewhere out there, Mr. Identity, if you're there, Tyrone Poole is
He's
going to
there.
slow plug for you.
Matter of
Hawks will be
fact,
after you.
he's already in the locker room. They just got to play him.
Just got to
They
play
got
him.
big
All right.
identity. They got
So
to play
Mr. Identity and probably Mr. Adjustability, he might be the 11th man. He's just not getting no time. All right, guys, there he is right there. That's the key right there. Mr. Identity and Mr. Adjustability. Speaking of identity, one team is trying to really stamp an identity here for themselves in Atlanta. Of course, that is the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons look like they're loading up. Rumors going around about their backfield might be too crowded, and some people are suggesting maybe they should trade off their Swiss Army knife, Mr. Cordell Patterson, to get another piece in there. So what do you think? Should the Falcons leave what they have alone, go with that depth in that backfield, or should they be looking at another piece by moving Cordell Patterson? Tyrone Poole, what you think?
I'll be very quick. Keep your good players. That's how you. I said it earlier. Keep your good players. I ended with that. So you got my answer. No. Keep your good players, man. That's what the fans come to see. Arthur Blank trying to put some fans in the seats, right? He trying to win.
You're surely right.
All right, there you go.
Mr. Tree Dolman, do you think they should keep Mr. Cordell Patterson, who's been a star these last 2 years, he's been with the Falcons, or should they be shopping him around to try to get someone else? Now they have allegedly a generational running back who does something similar in Bijan Robinson.
It's funny that Tyrone said that, because the same thing that I say, you keep your good players. I don't understand why people think, oh, you should only have one or two good people at this position and go and no, that's not how you win championships. And then you have times where people get injured. So you always want to make sure that you have the next man up is also great so that it's not affected. So I agree. You keep great players. That's how you win championships. So the people that are saying, oh, you need to get rid of him, bring in other people. Why do you want to get rid of somebody great? You don't do that. That's the big problem here. You want to keep good players and then bring in more great players, and that's how championships are won.
Yeah, and I say this too, to add on to it. Running backs these days, nothing against the running backs now, but it's not like it used to be in the 80s where you go find that Eric Dickerson. You go find that guy. In today's game, it's all about passing pretty much. Running backs come a dime a dozen. You see what they did with Cordell Patterson. He was playing wide receiver, put him in the backfield. I think the Minnesota Vikings in some days, several years ago, did the same thing. They were depleted at the running back position. No, the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. They were depleted at the running back. They put a tight end in the running back. So for me, I'm like, running backs come a dime a dozen. Yeah, that doesn't mean that you get rid of a guy, but we also got to understand that it's a physical game. They still get hit, right? And if somebody goes down, you still want to have somebody pop in there to run that machine. Plus, the wear and tear. If you got two similar running backs of the same style, you don't have to change up your game plan, okay? Me defensively, if I see one guy come in, he's a pounding running back. I see another guy come in, he more of a pass running back. We changed up the defense. It's easy for the defensive coordinator. Okay, they about to pass the ball. All right. And if he does try to run the ball, the guy who really is a pass running back, if he does try to run the ball, y'all make sure y'all pound him. Somebody hold him up and let the rest of the other 10 guys come in and get a little lick on him. Kiss him a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with kissing him a little bit. Let him know, hey, like Lord Taylor said, he's a son. Y'all got to do better than this.
Sir, got to do better than that. Well, I tell you, the Falcons can't do any better than what they have right now. To me, their offensive backfield is stacked. I think that they should leave everything alone. And what I really want to see is with the group they have right now. Of course, we got to wait to the spring practice and get a better feel. But I think that this is going to be very reminiscent of the Falcons Super Bowl run, where you had a mad scientist as your offensive coordinator and Kyle Shanahan. You got the same thing with Arthur Smith, and you have the weapons to actually input these things. They have what apparently is an improved offensive line from what they've had in years past. You got an all-pro in Chris Lindstrom. You got a McGarry who was drafted alongside of him, who is now finally starting to reach some of his potential, and they picked up some key pieces in the draft. So I think that this team needs to just let Arthur cook with all these lovely ingredients they had, and I think you're going to see an explosive Falcon offense. If their defense, I ain't looking for them to be, top 5. If the Falcons just give me middle of the road, like being the top 15 or top 20, then they will make my prediction come true that they will be a playoff team to win at least one game, possibly 2. I'm looking for
You
them to
said your
win.
prediction was that they would win 2. You didn't say
All right,
win
okay.
1.
Well,
Don't
all
try
right, well
to
then,
change it now.
what happened?
Yeah,
Oh, I backed up.
you said I predict that they're going to the playoffs and they're going to win 2 games. That's what I recall you saying.
Oh, it's always lovely to have the queen to remind you of what's going on. Well, speaking of remind you, we have to let you guys be reminded of what our host and co-host are doing. So, you know, we always end the broadcast with a simple way to let you know. So, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Hey, very quick, very quick. I ran track, 100, 200. So I'm going to come at you quick. Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. And go pick up your copy of Ultimate Success in the Game of Life at TyronePoole38.com. TyronePoole38.com. Get that thing
Right on your screen, boys. Thank you,
Boys and
Tyrone.
girls.
All right,
The
everybody.
queen, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. As you know, Father's Day is coming up. With El Shimon Candles and Cosmetics, I have some goodies for the men and the fathers in your lives. I am posting everything on the website where we have a new candle fragrance that we are releasing called King, as well as our other masculine scents and our shower gels, which men love phenomenally. You can find all of that at elshimoncandles.com, or actually just elshimon.com. And you can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13 and Ms. America International 2022.
The queen has spoken. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up real quick here as we have already just gone a little bit over time. You know me, I'm the minister, Jonathan Simmons. Let me slow it down. I'm the minister, a real one, Jonathan Simmons. You can follow the show and me anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports 7 is the show. And I'm at Minister J Sims. That's Minister JSIMM. And please, if you got a great sports story out there, somebody doing something really good in the community or whatever, hey, hit us up. Email jsimmons@realtalksports.net or simply text or call me 678-410-9833. Everybody, like I said, we got to go run overtime. But remember, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Nobody loves Jesus. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. He came here, fully God, fully man, and died for your sins. But the good news is he rose from the dead. When that happened, 2 great things are now available to you. Number 1, you become a citizen of you can become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number 2, an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you because he's always going to give you what's best for you. All right. And number 2, if and when you die, you go to that happy place called heaven where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. It's bright and sunny because the glory of God illuminates the whole place. You never get old, you never die, and you get a chance to see God face to face. How cool is that? And you avoid that unhappy place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned will not be there. It's dark, it stinks, it's dreary, bad people everywhere. And most of all, you are cut off from God and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number 1 instead of option number 2. All right, everybody, until the next time we get a chance to see you again, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long.
Bye.